Hello, Ahmed.
Hello, nice to meet you. Your name is
Hi.
Ricky.
Hi. Ricky, yes. Nice to meet you.
Uh, Nice to meet you. Do you agree to share this session on YouTube? I'm a YouTuber for teaching English.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Nice to meet you. Today we have. Where are you from, by the way?
I'm from New Zealand.
Are you New Zealand?
Sorry?
Are you a New Zealand citizen?
Yes, I am a New Zealand citizen.
Okay, congratulations. Uh, Today we have to make a lesson about the kitchen utensils, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have some reels to show you and to name these things in English language, right?
Okay.
What can we call this?
Oh, interesting. I would call that a flat press or a
Flap
grinder. What do you
press.
use it for? Yeah,
Use
so
it
I
for
would
a
say that's a
hamburger.
flat press or a grinder. Hamburger.
Mm.
Okay, so it's called a hamburger press. Yeah.
Hamburger press.
Hamburger press. Yeah.
Hamburger press. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And what about what can we call this?
So we call that a cheese grater. Well, I
Yes,
just guess
that
it's a grater. It doesn't just do cheese, yeah. But usually
we
people use it to
we
grate
use we
cheese.
also use for vegetables. We can
Yeah,
grate vegetables like
exactly.
cucumber, carrots, or another
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
grater. We
Yeah,
can say
grater.
grater. Mm,
Yeah, it's a
okay.
grater.
And what can we call this to?
Oh, okay. So that looks like a blender or a food processor.
Blender, yes, that's blender to
Blender? Yeah.
ground the meat or vegetables.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
Blender.
blender blender works. Yeah, blender.
hmm Okay. What can we call this to make orange juice or juice for vegetables? Fruit. Sorry, we
Yeah,
can
so
say.
that's also a blender. You can
I
also
think
call that a blender.
I think this is mixer and not blender. It's mixer.
Um, so they're quite similar. You can use those two words interchangeably. So it just depends who you're speaking to. Some people could call it a mixer, some people can call it a blender. Both of it would have the
Ah,
same meaning.
uh,
Yeah.
it's okay. We use both of them, blender and mixer. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, okay. I read this in dictionary also. That some people to use the blender and some people to use the mixer. Anyway, what
hmm
can we call this?
So that looks like an electric whisker. Yeah, so
Folder?
it looks like a an electric whisk. So
Yes.
you use it and it
Uh,
like mixes eggs and stuff, right?
Mix coffee or milk.
Ah, yes. Okay, yeah, electric whisk works. Yeah.
Okay. Can you repeat again? And
Electric whisk or
uh,
so whisk, it's
uh,
Whisk, or you can
mm,
call it a frother.
flutter. Yes, flutter. I remember.
Yeah.
I read this in dictionary. Flutter. Uh, what can we call this?
Oh, what is that called? Is that the thing that mince comes out of?
Uh,
Um,
this we can call, I think, machine meat.
Machine meat, yeah. I actually don't know the proper word for that. I know what it is, what it does. But I don't know the word for that one.
There's another device, but it's bigger. I cannot bring here. Just bring this
Yeah.
meat. Yes. We can say
Okay, yeah.
machine meat to
Machine
ground
meat.
meat. Mm,
Yeah, you can call it that. Yeah, it's a
mm,
ground meat, right? Yeah. To make
What can we
mince.
call this? What can we call this?
Um,
We use it
what do you Oh,
to press the meat.
to press the meat down?
Yes.
Okay. What do we call that one? I
We
would
can
say that's
call the
probably,
processor.
yeah, it's a presser or a pounder
Cursor.
or a,
Yes.
yeah,
Mm,
that works.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay. What can we call this?
What am I looking at? Uh, what is that? Does
This
it usually
it's two.
have the
Yes, yes,
whisk on the end?
yes. There's two metal. We can.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's
It's
also an
hand.
electric whisk.
No, it's hand mixer. We can call it hand
Yeah, a
mixer.
hand mixer. It plugs into the
Mhm.
wall, right? Yeah, so that's why
Yes.
they call it an electric whisk.
Uh, what can we call this?
I think that's also a type of whisk.
Mhm.
What do you usually use that for?
We use it to make soup.
It's so I'd call it a blender.
A blender,
Yeah, so
it's
it's
similar.
a
I
hand
think
blender. Yeah. So you just
a
use your hand instead
uh,
of the
head blender. We use it.
yeah, a hand
Uh,
blender.
we use it to put it in the saucepan and print something
Yeah.
or mix something.
So it's a hand blender. Yeah, hand blender or hand mixer works.
Okay.
Awesome. So do you okay?
Thanks. Uh,
No
are
worries.
you tutor or just native speaker?
Sorry?
Are you tutor or just native speaker?
I'm a tutor, yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a specific plan to improve English language?
A specific, sorry, what?
Plan
Plan?
to
Like a specific plan to improve?
Sorry,
Yeah,
plan
that's
that something
okay.
it's like.
No, that's okay. I think there's a lot of ways to improve English, or any language really. Every student is different and the way that they learn is different. Some people really like writing words down over and over and speaking them again and again. Some people like watching movies or listening to songs in like English or other languages. Um, so personally, when I'm teaching someone on a regular basis, I ask them what way they want to learn, and then we go from there. So I feel like there's no one right answer. It really depends on the person and how they learn and how they want to learn.
Hmm. Uh, do you think it's take more time to learn English?
To learn English, I think one of the things that's, I wouldn't necessarily say it's the hardest language to learn. I will say that it's quite different than lots of other groups of languages that have the same vowels and word sounds. So certain people in certain places of the world might struggle with it, and other people might find it really easy. So it kind of just depends again on the person. Personally, I struggled learning English quite a lot at the start because there's lots of words that are similar but are different.
Uh, uh, does your English language second language or first language?
English is my third language, so
Third?
I grew up, yes. So
Oh,
I
you
grew up,
linguistic polyglot?
I guess so, yes. I grew up learning,
What
oops, sorry.
what's your first language?
Yeah, so my first language is Hindi or a dialect of Hindi.
Mm,
So I grew up in a small island called Fiji.
mm.
So my people are called Fijian Indians, and our language is officially Hindi, but it is a kind of variated version of Hindi since we're not from the mainland.
You was born in India?
No, so I was born in Fiji and then came to New Zealand when I was about 10.
Ah, okay. What about the second language?
Yep, so I also grew up learning Tamil, which is similar to Hindi, but a little bit different at the same time. It's spoken a lot in countries like Pakistan, and some parts of India, but it really depends. We grew up learning Tamil as a religious language.
Where did you study English? In New Zealand or in India?
I started learning English as a required subject in Fiji. So we're all required to start learning English when we're in primary school. So my English wasn't so great because our teachers weren't really native English speakers either. And then when I came to New Zealand when I was 10, everyone speaks English here, so I started learning English properly when I came to New Zealand.
Hmm. How long time does it take you to learn the second language? For example, as English.
I think English took a lot longer. It really depends on the environment you're in. If you're in an environment where you're surrounded by the language that you want to learn 24/7, then I feel like it comes on a lot faster. And it has been shown that like the younger you start learning a new language, the more likely it is to stick. So for me, I had already started learning English when I was about 6 or 7, and my
Hmm.
parents
In
would
India,
say I'm in
did you?
Fiji. I've never been to India. Yeah.
Where did you learn English?
So I would say I most learnt most of my English in New Zealand.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is there a specific accent in New Zealand, or
Yes.
you can use any accent?
I would say that my accent is New Zealand. You'll
Hmm.
notice if you talk to other tutors that there's lots of variations of the English language, like there's Australian, an American accent, British accent, and you can tell quite differently between those. Yeah.
What about the life in New Zealand?
The life in New Zealand, I would say that the life in New Zealand is quite good. We are a first world country, and thankfully we don't get involved in too many world politics and stuff. We're quite neutral. So growing up here in New Zealand has been quite good. We're quite privileged as a country compared to,
Hmm.
for instance, Fiji, where I came from.
What time is there right now?
What time is it in New Zealand? Currently, it is 6:47 p.m.
Sorry. Huh?
No, that's okay. It is currently 6:47 p.m.
Oh, it's evening?
Yep, it's in the evening right now. What time is it over there for wherever you are?
It's going to be 10 morning.
Oh wow, completely opposite sides of the world.
Absolutely. Do you think there is a seaside in the New Zealand, mountain, lakes, rivers, and some beautiful to visit?
Yeah, I mean, New Zealand is known for its tourism and for people coming to New Zealand to travel to see sites. We have everything from like beaches to mountains, from snow and backcountry. So yeah, it's a really, really amazing place to visit, especially if you like nature, I would say.
Huh. Uh, does the New Zealand expensive or cheap?
I would definitely say compared to the rest of the world, New Zealand is a very expensive country. I would say it's probably somewhere on par with about like Canada or something like that. A lot of our things are imported, making our country quite expensive. So, yeah.
Ah, okay. What's your advice for me? Improve my English language. I'm an English teacher, and right now to live in Arabic country in Middle East,
Yeah,
and people speak Arabic and Kurdish and not speak English.
of
Do you
course.
know do you give me some advice for me to be
Yeah,
perfect in English?
I would say right now for you, you're doing great, by the way, but I would say like the number one thing for me would be exposure. Expose yourself into many avenues of English as you possibly can. Listen to music in English, listen to movies, talk to people in English wherever you can. Write it, read it, do as much as you possibly can to constantly like be forced to want to learn more and have to learn more.
Do you know website to help me? Is there a specific New Zealand website to learn English?
I can't think of anything right now. I would probably say Cambly is the best website.